Have you ever wondered what's the real difference between photographers who can only make $400 a day and those who can make $4,000 a day? And what if I tell you that both of those photographers can have the exact same photography skills and that the photographer who makes $400 works harder than the photographer who makes $4,000? Do you want to know their secret? It's not about who has been working more hours or who has been a photographer for longer. It's not even about who is a better photographer. If you watch this video till the end, I will show you how to get high-paying clients. 4 years into my photography journey, working days and nights, being fully booked, but only by budget clients. I remember I was one time hanging out with other colleagues who did the same jobs as me. He showed me an Instagram of a different photographer and told me this photographer makes $8,000 in a single day. That was the first time I ever heard of those prices. And I remember looking at his Instagram profile, seeing those photos and thinking, this is not so much better than what I can do. Well, I can do the same photos. My friends can do the same photos. Why is he getting 10 or even 20 times more than me, while every time I try to ask for more money or raise my prices, my clients laugh at me or completely ghost me? Many of the photographers who master this skill are now business owners, entrepreneurs, living in Bali or traveling the world as digital nomads and doing whatever they actually want. If it's their passion to do photography or if it's to only sell digital products online and earn passive money, it's the same principles. For example, me, I used to travel every year for half a year without worrying about money, and now I moved to Bali, and right now I'm living my childhood dream life, and I always get new clients wherever I am, and in a few hours I'm actually flying to Austria to ski there, and then to Italy, Croatia, and travel the world like my childhood self actually wanted to do. And no, it was not always like this. I actually started working for free, and then for $25 an hour, and then moved to 50, and then slowly till I got stuck at an average of $400 a day. Yes, sometimes it was $900, but sometimes it was $200, but I could never pass beyond the $900. And $900 was me getting really lucky. Back in the days, I used to compare myself to other photographers, blame my clients for treating me badly, and feeling like I'm not getting what I deserved. I used to do sometimes 4 photo shoots in a single day, trying to plan everything, speak to the clients, make sure I can be on time everywhere, and transport myself and do everything correctly. And then when I would go home, I would open my laptop and edit all those photos till 3 a.m., fall asleep on my computer, and then wake up in the middle of the night to a nightmare of me missing a photo shoot. I couldn't work harder, and to be honest, I actually almost burned out myself. I had many points in my career where I didn't enjoy taking photos anymore. I felt like everyone is trying to use me, and I almost gave up completely about photography. I remember even speaking to a new friend who told me he just got a new job at Nike, and he told me that his job is basically to go to meetings, play ping pong with his friends, and drink fancy coffee. And guess how much he was making? 3 times more than me, around $100,000 a year. I felt devastated, like the whole world is against me. Why do I need to work 3 times harder than him? I don't get to go home at 5 p.m. and be with my friends and not think about work. I need to work all the time, so I work harder than him and earn 3 times less than him. That's not fair. I almost completely gave up on my passion, photography, and got a normal job because I also had those connections and those skills that my friend had. So I also could have easily gotten paid 3 times more and worked 3 times less. But before I did that, I gave it my last shot. And that is where I started my self-development journey. When I started learning about investing, marketing, entrepreneurship. And one of the things I learned is that keeping my money in my bank account is one of the worst things I can do with my money. But instead, if I invest this money into my own brain and my own skills, I can earn so much more. And that was completely true. So I started not only reading books, but also investing my money into mentorship, courses, coaches, and people who can help me grow myself and my business to where I want it to be. I found out that most businesses actually do the same mistakes that I used to do as a photographer. And the businesses that do things differently, like Apple, for example, are the businesses that blow up. And the secret behind it is marketing, client communication, branding, how to present yourself as a human or as a brand. I used to think that having good photos was the key to success. But little did I know I was completely wrong. Clients don't only value photos. They want to dream about how it is to work with you. They want to fantasize that. They want to wish, they want to save up to be like, my dream is to work one day with Sam. They want a crazy experience. They don't just want photos. And people who just want photos, this is where they go to the cheapest photographer and they negotiate photos for $200. But yes, those clients and also other high-paying clients do want more than just photos. They want to connect to a human being. They want to feel like they're having a crazy experience. So once I figured that out and changed some small things in my business, I started getting those clients who wished to work only with me, who couldn't compare me to other photographers, who didn't say, no, I'll just choose another photographer and say they only want to work with me. Not only that, I have clients who actually their whole branding identity is based on my photos and who I am. So they actually don't want to work with anyone else, but just with me. And this is how I'm able to get a lot of work from the same client. So I started to combine my photography skills with my new skills in marketing and branding. And I learned that by doing the right thing, which is not working harder, it's just working smarter and doing the right thing, business can completely explode. For example, with Instagram, for 8 years, I used to work really hard on my Instagram, edit photos for a really long time, think this is the most beautiful photo I've ever seen, write the right things, use the right hashtags, post at the right time. And then I would post it and then nothing. I was always disappointed by the likes, attention, and how people reacted to the photos I posted. It took me 8 years to grow my account from 0 to almost 5,000 followers. But then once I learned actually what people value and started doing the right thing, I got 30,000 new followers within only the first month. And no, I wasn't working harder on Instagram, I was just working smarter. And that's where I started feeling like I wasted 8 years working so hard on my Instagram, where I could have done 6 times better within only 30 days. I was mind-blowing, and that became my new obsession, learning what are the wrong things we focus our time on and what is the right thing to focus my time on, so that everything will blow up and explode and get better. But growing my Instagram was after I actually blew up my business financially and started working with those high-paying clients. I was making a lot of money in my business without having the followers. Followers is not needed. Most of my clients actually got from Google, referrals, and other methods. So it's actually not important to have a lot of followers on Instagram. It's not needed, but it definitely can also help to blow your business. Now, beyond money, followers, I also got one of the most important things in the world. People started appreciating me and valuing me and my service and my photos much more than I could imagine. Now my clients are my best friends, people I used to look up to, people I used to dream about working with. Huge business owners, amazing people, influencers, and even family started appreciating what I do much more. Now, everything that helped me blow up my business came from very different sources. Some of them came from books, friends, courses, programs, meeting random people while traveling, and even clients that I would never be able to afford who taught me a lot of those things. And because I never found one program who teaches all those things together, I decided to create my own thing. I decided to make everything I learned into one program so people can find everything in one place super easily without getting overwhelmed. And so you don't need to buy a lot of courses, read many books, and puzzle everything together with sometimes missing some of the information and then figuring out about it years later and missing all this time. I almost gave up on my passion and my photography, and I don't want anyone else to do this choice. This is why my mission is to help people become more self-dependent so they can also live their dream life while helping the people who help them back and value and respect their time in exchange. I actually remember during the pandemic, so much of my friends and people around me were so dependent on their bosses, on the government, on other people. And I remember their bosses telling them, you need to wear masks to go to work, you need to show up, or you need to stay at home, or you need to get vaccinated, or you need to do a lot of things that maybe some of those people didn't want to do. They were so dependent. And I felt like my biggest gift in life was not being dependent on anyone. I'm my own boss and I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, and be completely free. I was so free that I was one of the only people who actually traveled back then. And this is one gift that I want to give everyone in the world. And this is why I'm creating so much free content everywhere. But I also want to help people and actually transform their life completely. And this is why I built a program where people actually can invest in themselves, change their life completely within a really short amount of time. For example, take Alize, one of my students, who not too long ago sent me a text message. She told me she just broke her record with photography. She made more than 2,000 euros excluding taxes within only 2 hours of working. How insane is that? Can you imagine how much money you would be able to make if you were completely unique? None of your clients would be able to compare you to a different photographer, and people would be dreaming about working with you. And it doesn't matter how far you are in your journey in photography. If you didn't start it at all, or if you are already making a full-time income from your photography, or even if you know a lot about marketing, but you still can't get those high-paying clients. To actually become successful, we need to learn, first of all, who are our ideal clients, because not everybody can pay thousands of dollars for photos. And then once we know exactly who can pay that, we need to learn what they value and what they appreciate and what they're looking for better, that they know how to tell us themselves oneself. And then after we know those two things, we need to make sure that we are presenting ourselves in the best possible way that matches what they value. So we actually don't need to focus on the wrong things, like showing up on Pinterest or doing all those things that can distract us. But we just need to focus on a few things and master them. And then obviously we also need to make sure that we are delivering on our promises and actually are good photographers. But surprisingly, that is not the most important thing.